15 reasons Dean Ambrose won't be the man in WWE. Number 15. He needs the Shield. Dean Ambrose was more effective when he had his brothers, Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. Like most groups that decide to band together, they became unstoppable forces like Nexus, Evolution, the Wyatt family, New Day and others. If Seth Rollins didn't decide to backstab his teammates, the Shield could still be ruling the WWE. Instead, the three split up, and Ambrose has arguably done the worst out of the three. Number 14. His ring gear. Think about your favorite wrestler. No, really think about it. Is he wearing a long diamond-studded robe? How about all black trunks and knee braces? Maybe he is wearing a singlet with polka dots. You know what he isn't wearing? Jeans and a t-shirt. Dean Ambrose can't ascend to the top tier of the WWE without an image change to his ring gear. It looks like Ambrose gets dressed for the day and then comes out to wrestle in those same clothes he woke up in. It's not fitting for a top talent, never has been, and never will be. Number 13. He is like Mick Foley. The sighting of Mick Foley on an episode of Monday Night Raw recently could foreshadow that it's Dean Ambrose's time to take up the mantle of WWE's hardcore main event talent. If you watched WWE back in the day, Foley was the guy who could take any bump, whether it was on a chair, ladder, steel cage, or whatever. Foley could take the pain. Ambrose portrays similar characteristics like Foley, which is a never-quit attitude and keep fighting mentality. Ambrose will jump and crawl his way to winning a match and won't back down from a fight, but if WWE is trying to make him the next Mick Foley, they may be in for trouble. While Foley was an icon during the Attitude Era and worked with all top talent, he was never the man. The same fate could await Ambrose. Number 12. Reliance on weapons. Ambrose is no doubt entertaining with a weapon in his hands, having effectively used chairs, kendo sticks, and whatever he can get his hands on during a match. The only problem with that is WWE doesn't have many matches where you can use weapons on a regular basis. This serves as a problem, as Ambrose fights in many more normal matches, and without a stipulation, his matches don't tend to pack the same punch. Additionally, what does it say about your star if he needs a weapon to win every match? Number 11. Dolph Ziggler effect. Let's be honest, Dean Ambrose is another version of Dolph Ziggler. Both are talented wrestlers, but both that will remain in the middle of the pack, due to being stagnant. It's hard to compete with a company that has Brock Lesnar, John Cena, Randy Orton, Triple H and other big names returning frequently. Dolph, much like Dean, has held WWE Gold before, but for a short period of time as a singles wrestler. Both wrestlers are utility players, both trying to reach their way to the top. They're the type of wrestlers that are put in plenty of title matches, but fall short every time. Number 10. Not given great opponents. If WWE was actually trying to make a push for Dean Ambrose become a bigger name, then he should have been scheduled to take on The Undertaker at WrestleMania this year. The Undertaker isn't getting any younger, and his time with WWE is soon to come to an end. Ambrose is not exactly the ideal type of opponent fans would want to see face The Undertaker, but it would lend to the credibility of his character moving forward. Brock Lesnar vs. Dean Ambrose does spark headlines, but Lesnar is almost certain to come out on top. Since WWE isn't going to let Lesnar lose clean, why not stick him with a different opponent, and let Ambrose actually wrestle one of all-time greats? Number 9. His working punch is horrible. Dean Ambrose is also known as the lunatic fringe and has a knack for throwing loads of fists at his opponent. It's cool at first, but then when fans are watching it on television, there's a point where they start to notice that he really is just flailing his arms. It's hard to take him serious as a main event talent if he isn't willing to throw punches that look real, especially against a former UFC champion like Brock Lesnar. Number 8. Gimmicky tactics. When Dean Ambrose gets shoved, he tends to duck his head under the rope and jump back onto his opponent. It does look like he's getting the momentum that way, but it seems unnecessary to duck his head under the rope when most wrestlers would just use their body to bounce off the rope. Wrestling is just as much about psychology as it is about physical ability, and this move makes no sense. In fact, Ambrose's move seems like he's wasting his energy to throw a normal clothesline. That doesn't add to the story at all. Number 7. His theme music. His theme music is utterly loud, irritating, and annoying when you hear it for the first time. Yes, it sounds cool at first, but hearing a motor run on repeat gets old after a few minutes. It's only a 30-second entrance, but switching up his theme song for something new would help him tremendously. In fact, every iconic wrestler has had an iconic theme, some have had multiple. And something is just lacking in Ambrose's theme music. Number 6. Dirty Deeds. The name doesn't sound as bad as the movie actually looks, and it simply looks like a typical DDT. Of course, Ambrose is loved now so his move is acceptable, but Dirty Deeds is nothing like an RKO, a spear, attitude adjustment, pedigree, and so on. The DDT is a move that is in most wrestlers' move sets, so having a finisher that is so plain isn't good for the long run. Ambrose may need to add a variation to it, similar to Bray Wyatt's Sister Abigail finisher. Number 5. His mic skills need polishing. When Dean Ambrose grabs a hold of a mic, he looks the part but doesn't exactly act it. He has his way with the WWE Universe now, but to a certain extent, he likes to ramble during promos. Usually, his musings are all too similar, spouting off about how he will always get back up and won't stay down. These things are good for an underdog. But the top babyface needs more confidence when holding the microphone. He needs to be the one talking about keeping the other guy down. Number 4. Heel turn. The best possible scenario for Dean Ambrose to get more interesting is if the heel turns and goes against the WWE Universe. Even then, who knows if he'll be more interesting to watch because he may still do the same moves, which are ducking underneath the rope and cloth-slitting his opponent or his finisher, Dirty Deeds. It worked out for Seth Rollins and he became the WWE Champion, so anything can happen. Plus, maybe Ambrose can have a new finisher like Rollins did with the pedigree. There's no doubt he can wrestle, but if Ambrose wants to stand out, then maybe a heel turn could be in the near future. Number 3. Roman Reigns is next in line. Roman Reigns may not be the most popular pick for the next face of the WWE, but he is the guy. Reigns' accomplishments tower over most in the WWE, especially over the likes of Dean Ambrose. Ambrose is smaller than Reigns, has less of the look that WWE likes, and is missing the ring presence that is needed to be a ring general. This isn't to say that Reigns has those attributes, but they are building him up to learn those things by putting him into top their situations, leaving Ambrose down in the upper card rotation, but not the top guy. Number 2. Too valuable as an enhancer. Dean Ambrose is one of those guys who is able to make most people look better than they actually are during a match. The fact that he is able to enhance others is actually one of his greatest assets, and will be his biggest downfalls. WWE needs guys like Ambrose, who can put over main event talent, without actually hurting their own character. In some respects, finding wrestlers who can do this is actually harder than finding main event talent, and because of that Ambrose is more valuable in his current position. Number 1. He's not WWE's type. While there's a lot about Ambrose to like, he's not necessarily WWE's cup of tea. While Stone Cold's reckless character worked in the Attitude Era, WWE's not exactly in the type of era where they would allow Ambrose to really thrive in that role. It seems he'll always be somewhat held back, and Ambrose having that edge would be his greatest asset in trying to be the number one guy. WWE seems very comfortable with just playing it safe and going with the guy with the look and a wholesome character for kids. While many will always love what Ambrose represents, WWE will keep passing over him. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy this video. Please like, share and subscribe.